From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for the latest Marshall University news and sports, you're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this edition of MU Report Spring 2018. I'm Matthew Groves.
And I'm Courtney Andrews. We are a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University. And we air this broadcast not only on West Virginia Public Broadcasting, but also Network West Virginia and YouTube. Now, on to our top story. Teachers say they can see a light at the end of the tunnel following their recent protests. The House has started to set plans in motion that could potentially end the teacher strike across West Virginia. As Brooke Griffin reports, teachers say they are willing to do whatever it takes to ensure fair pay as the work stoppage continues into this week.
The entire labor movement, every union in the state of West Virginia is standing.
The protests and rallies continue at the West Virginia State Capitol, where all 55 West Virginia counties say that they decided to come together by setting dates to participate in a statewide walkout.
We will do what we have to do to take care of the teachers in the entire state of West Virginia. So if it comes down to taking care of our families and ourselves, then we will do what we need to if they're not going to take care of us.
Including going on strike?
Including going on strike.
Lawmakers in the House and Senate voted on February 20th to give teachers a 2% raise next year and a 1% raise for the next 2 years after that.
This has been going on for several years, and people are at the breaking point. They're at the breaking point of poverty right now.
West Virginia education leaders say that the public school system is currently over 700 teachers short, leaving them desperate for a solution that will get students the teachers for the classes that they need, while still letting the state remain financially stable.
And these are issues that need solving. They are related to issues our educators are seeing across the country. And so a victory for West Virginia teachers will only encourage victories in other places as well.
Many counties have voted to close all school operations for 2 days total, putting students of all ages and soon-to-be college-bound kids at home instead of in a classroom. Teachers say that they will continue to fight the issue at hand. So instead of having a classroom full of students Monday through Friday, they're going to continue to stage entire walkouts with their lights off and their doors shut. Brooke Griffin, MU Report.
Teachers say the slight pay raise is a start, but not the end result they are hoping for. While all 55 counties in West Virginia have already lost 3 days of school due to work stoppage, many administrators say the fight isn't over.
According to U.S. Census Bureau data, West Virginia is fighting to keep its population as well as its teachers. One reason for the state's declining population is the number of students leaving West Virginia after graduation. As Rebecca Turnbull reports, one state organization is working to end that trend.
There's been a problem
that's been facing West Virginia for too long,
with West Virginia's ability to keep younger people from leaving the state despite its economic struggles. But one local organization is working toward a solution.
Young people can't stay in a place without a job. So we really worked to create this program as a solution on both sides of the equation, both creating jobs for young people, but also trying to give employers in the state access to a quality talent pipeline.
A recent study by West Virginia University found that nearly 1 in every 10 of the people you see walking behind me is bound to leave the state by the year 2030. But because of Generation West Virginia's work creating jobs in the area through the Impact West Virginia Fellowship, some students say they are finding the success they need to stay.
I know that the connections I've made, both directly through Generation West Virginia and through Core 10, I know I'm going to have those for life, and I'm going to be able to use the skills I've learned for the rest of my life.
West Virginia is an aging state where almost half the population is above the age of 64. Companies say introducing these bright younger minds to their ranks allows those companies to stay with the times.
They've taught us a lot about culture. You know, those of us who've been in the industry for a while, we've learned a lot from this office about creating a real grassroots culture, and it's just so fun to come up here and be with them.
For students interested in staying and working with local companies, this year's fellowship applications are now available on Generation West Virginia's website. The deadline for the first phase of applications is March 18th. Rebecca Turnbull, MU Report.
Students and companies interested in the fellowship and Generation West Virginia's work can visit generationwv.org/programs. 17 students will be chosen in June for the year-long fellowships.
College athletes say it is always an honor to represent the school that gave them a chance to continue playing the sport they love. But what about the athletes that are playing for their hometown school? Logan County native Shayna Gore is thriving on the court while being so close to home. Logan native and Marshall Junior guard Shayna Gore is lighting it up on the court during her time at Marshall, and it's not a coincidence. She puts in the extra work to make her record-breaking numbers possible.
I just stay in the gym. I'm in the weight room, even though I don't like the weight room that much. But I stay in here. I'm in here on nights. I'll stay in here 2 to 3 hours a day with a coach, without a coach. I'll put some chairs out here and act like they're defenders.
Basketball has become more than just a game to her.
This is where I enjoy being. It's also like an escape place for me. If I have like something going on outside, I can come in here and I completely forget.
Gore is already the all-time leader in most three-pointers made during her career, and after the game at Western Kentucky, she is 5th all-time in leading scorers, yet she still has another year left in her career to boost those numbers.
She's really hard on herself, you know. Sometimes it doesn't look like that, but that's really where it all stems from.
I do sometimes get down a lot on myself because I expect as much work as I put in. I used to expect every shot to go in. Well, I work on this, so why is this not going in?
Gore already has 1,386 career points and is just 223 points away from breaking to the top 3 all-time scorers in Marshall history. While Marshall women's basketball says this wasn't the season they hoped for this year, that did not keep Gore from having a record-breaking season.
Being a student athlete doesn't just mean hitting the gym, but also hitting the books. The middle of the spring semester means that it's once again time for midterm exams, and with exams comes the need for stress relief. 7 weeks into the spring semester means that it's once again time for midterm exams. Marshall students are busy studying and trying to avoid stress.
I think stress can affect our sleeping schedule, our eating habits, because I know if I don't go to bed at a good time, I also eat because I'm bored, and so it's like midnight and I'm stuffing my face with popcorn, and so the next day I wake up feeling miserable and groggy and gross because I didn't get enough sleep and I didn't eat well.
One Marshall student sees spending time with friends as a way to avoid the stress that midterms bring.
Rock climbing, found that's a good way to deal with stress. Hanging out with your friends and getting enough sleep. Those 3 things usually help a lot.
Students are all finding different ways to relieve their stress so that the work doesn't become overwhelming.
I would say start studying early. Don't try to cram. I just had a biochem exam recently, and I studied a little bit every single day. That way, the night before the test, I wasn't as stressed. I just reviewed. I went over my note cards again. So definitely start studying early.
Good tip would be to start studying before, but since it's already almost midterms, maybe that might be a step that you could take in before. But I'd say breaking things apart into small bits and pieces so it's easier to manage.
Students are encouraged to use Marshall resources for any needs they might have.
In light of the opioid epidemic, some Marshall students and faculty want to be prepared if they have ever come across an overdose victim in the community. Marshall recently held a training session for the use of naloxone, a drug that is able to reverse the effects of overdoses.
It is frightening when you see somebody dead in front of you. And that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about taking somebody who's quit breathing. They're not going to make it. And you bring them back to life. And it is invigorating. It's a wonderful thing to help somebody live to tomorrow.
The class taught by C.K. Babcock, assistant professor of pharmacology, instructed those in attendance on how to administer naloxone to overdose victims.
Along with the heroin epidemic, West Virginia has also gained national attention as one of the unhealthiest states in America, and Huntington is often specifically singled out for issues with adult obesity. As Rebecca Turnbull reports, One Local Kitchen has been working for nearly 8 years now to curb the community's unhealthier appetites.
Sizzling steaks, good smells, and big smiles all can be found when community members gather for a cooking class at Huntingtons Kitchen downtown.
We are really hungry for that steak, right?
These classes do more than just provide its participants with a meal. Chef instructor Marty Emerson says that at a time where Huntington has been known for an obesity crisis, the experiences people have here will help the community overall become happier and healthier.
It's great because, it builds up, a healthy community through eating and then through, socializing with other people while they're here too.
And that includes some smaller people. Children often take part in classes at Huntingtons Kitchen. One parent says the kitchen allows him to engage his kids in a hands-on way to learn lasting healthy eating habits.
It's easier to run through a drive-through than it is to take an hour and really do some meal prep. So this gives a little bit of entertainment around that and gives us an opportunity to learn a little bit about how we can eat healthier and teach our kids that as well.
Whether you're a kid or an adult, going to Huntington's Kitchen's cooking classes might help you to flip the community's unhealthy stigma by bringing nutrition and fun back into your own home. Rebecca Turnbull, MU Report.
Anyone interested in attending a class can check out huntingtons-kitchen.org. The kitchen staff say they are also open to new class ideas that may not be listed already.
As February comes to a close, so do Marshall's Black History Month celebrations. Members of the Carter G. Woodson Lyceum organization organized the events inspired by the often overlooked Black History Month founder.
We want to draw attention to Woodson's significance in the Huntington and West Virginia areas. Not many people realize that Woodson was also a coal miner, and he had deep ties to Huntington and West Virginia, even though he wasn't born here.
Several events in the end of February bring Black History Month to a close, such as an annual diversity breakfast and the Blackout, where students and staff are encouraged to wear black.
One of these events had several student groups on campus team up to sponsor an event called Unwind and Create. As Adam Stevens reports, Unwind and Create allows students to come together to celebrate Black History Month through painting.
Bringing students together sometimes means getting artistic.
We're just going to have a good time and come paint.
Groups on campus use the simple act of painting as a tool to celebrate Black History Month with the campus community.
Because we do have Black History Month, it's a time for African Americans on campus to showcase that we're here, we have programs to do, we have fun things to do, so I think that we just want to take advantage of the month.
Small events like this help not only bring light to the month, but educate people a little bit about the culture and customs.
Organizers, as well as those who attended the event, say it not only celebrated Black History Month, but also gave students a chance to leave their dorms and come together for a relaxing evening.
I feel like a lot of students don't get to interact socially because they're very nervous about a lot of things. So very controlled events like this from the university are great because students can meet new people and mingle and just do something that they actually like to do.
Anything to get students out their room is just good, get people involved on campus. Things that people never think that they're going to be on campus, like Uncork and Create, bring them to campus and make sure that they know that Marshall is innovative and that we have programs and that there are reasons to come out of your room.
My painting here may not be able to compare to Picasso, but the Unwind and Create event, it doesn't matter. It's not about who can paint the best masterpiece. It's about bringing students together. Adam Stevens, MU Report.
Black United Students, the Center for African American Students, and the Campus Activities Board collaborated to sponsor Unwind and Create. That's all the time we have for this edition of MU Report. Our newscast is completely generated by students in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University, and we're glad to have you watching. You can always catch this newscast again on YouTube, and be sure to follow MU Report on Facebook. I'm Matthew Groves.
And I'm Courtney Andrews. Have a great day.